Darjeeling Railway is perhaps one of the most famous railways in the world. It's amongst the most spectacular, it's the most idiosyncratic and the most romantic. Stories about it abound as these little engines claw their way up to Darjeeling each day, as they have done for 125 years. The whole journey is an experience which you can never forget. Every journey on the Darjeeling Railway is an adventure. When you start, you don't know how long it's going to take or what will happen. The railway was built in 1879 to open up the hill station of Darjeeling. The whole idea was that the Raj took to the hills during the hot monsoon season when the heat became unbearable. Anyone who could would leave Calcutta and go up and catch the train up the hill and stay for the duration of the summer. And then of course it gained in stature as the years went by, and Darjeeling was opened up to an extensive point of strategic importance very close to the Tibetan border. This railway climbs twice the height of Snowdon, over 7,000 feet, in 45 of its 55 miles. The idea that came from a chap called Franklin Prestige, an engineer out there, was to build the line as cheaply as possible. There's one road up to Darjeeling called the Hill Cart Road, so he decided to align the railway crisscrossing this to gain height in the easiest way. It crosses the road over 180 times, only one of which is guarded. The gradient averages somewhere in the region of 1 in 20 to 1 in 22. In parts, it's as severe as 1 in 16. When the climb became too severe, then they would go out onto a promontory and complete a spiral round the top of a mountain, or they would zigzag up the hillside in a sort of reverse push-me-pull-you. And the views are absolutely stunning. You can see over 100 miles of the Himalayas. The train seems to go out into space. No wonder it's called the railway on the rooftop of the world. Initially, rolling stock comprised of some very light four-wheelers. With such an incline, you wanted the weight to be as little as possible. And Sharp Stewart of Manchester designed the first locomotive, which was very lightweight, only weighed 9 tons. They proceeded to the A class, which was a little heavier, and finally the B class, which was a little 040 on a length of 20 feet. The wheel space is some 5'6" from axle to axle. At the same time, they had to have a crew of 5 to work the locomotive. On one side you've got the fireman, on the other side you have the driver. The coal breaker sits in the coal bunker, which is poised on top of the boiler. It's his job to take the coal and to break it up into bite-sized chunks. Because of the steep adhesion, they have 2 men on the front who act not only as lookouts but as sanders. They have a big bag of sand. They know, of course, whereabouts the engine's going to slip, particularly on sharp curves, which can be as much as 1 in 45, a 45-foot radius curve.
Good morning. No, go. See you there.
In the 1990s, the future for the railway was very uncertain. The line is on a fault line in the Himalayas. With 300 inches of rain dropping every year, the terrain gets waterlogged and it just falls away. So monsoon damage is an average occurrence. In 2004, over £700,000 worth of damage was caused by monsoon washaways. There was a lack of investment in this railway. The idea of steam heritage tourism had not yet dawned on Indian railways. I was a small boy in early 1950s London with all the smogs that there were, and a highlight of my week was the arrival of the Eagle comic. And one Christmas I got the Eagle Annual, and I opened it, and there was this feature with some wonderful illustrations on this railway I'd never heard of, the Darjeeling Hymalayan mountain railway. And I was just captivated. That's when my love affair with this line started. My love affair with railways was put to one side for many years, until my birthday present of a locomotive driving experience course on the Fairbourne Railway, and they've got a half-scale version of a Darjeeling tank. Whilst looking at this engine, he nudged me and said, "You know, I've heard the Darjeeling Railway is in bad trouble and it's probably going to close. You should do something about it." I got a phone call from someone who said, "Oh, I can help you," and someone said, "I can produce a magazine." Our first magazine, February 1998, of the Darjeeling Mail, went out, and immediately we sprung up to over 100 and then 200 and then beyond, till now we've got over 800 members. A society like us has played a pivotal role in the rejuvenation of this line. It became a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1999, only the second railway in the world to achieve this. We work in a partnership with Indian Railways, and the future is looking very bright. The locomotives are going to be overhauled. They're going to relay the track. They've been building new carriages. They're going to run special trains, as well as a transportation system for the locals, as it always has been. The Darjeeling Railway Society has been part of the worldwide movement to ensure that the line remains open, creating awareness of, interest in and support for this remarkable line. We've gone from one charter train a year to hiring over 25 to take more and more people out there to experience the delights of this extraordinary railway for themselves.